broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost.
So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sarah James, and if you're back for one of my videos, thank you for coming back. Today I'm going to be telling you all the books that I read in 2020, and I know the year's not over, but I was thinking of what I could film because I needed some ideas because I've not filmed and this is Monday and it needs to go up today anyway. But so that's what I'm going to do. So I have my reading, what does it say? Reading log, and it's really cute. And you can have, like, it goes to 100 books. And obviously there's some YouTubers that read books, that read like hundreds of books in the year. I'm just not one of them. I put 20 out this year, so I still count them. So first is City of Bones. So if you don't know what this book is, it's so the summary that I put down, I put a girl finds out all the stories are true. That's like one of the quotes. Says all the stories are true. I hear her and her mum are one of them. Mum gets kidnapped and she needs to save her. So this is about this girl. If you don't want any spoilers, click off this video or skip this bit. Well, there's going to be spoilers of all the books I read anyway. If you don't know what this story is, it's Shadowhunters, the Mortal Instruments, City of Bones. There's 6 books in this series, but there is other books like following on to the end of the series or before it, like 1800s, you know, like historian. Anyway, but this one's about this girl called Clary Frey, and she goes off one night because it's her 18th birthday, I'm pretty sure, and she meets this boy called Jace, but only she can see it and see him, and she thinks that's a bit weird but doesn't put anything of it. Maybe they just wasn't paying attention. And she finds out she is something called a Shadowhunter. So a Shadowhunter is a protector of mundanes. If you don't know what mundanes are, like the mundane life, that's humans. So anybody else. And then there's also vampires, werewolves, sealies, witches, not witches, some others. They protect the humans from them. There's also demons and stuff like that, and warlocks. Anyway, that's it for that one because I've got a lot to get through. But okay, so the next one is P.S. I Still Love You. So this is the second book in the series, and it's about this girl called Laura Jane, and in the first book, called To All the Boys I've Loved Before, she writes these love letters, but she doesn't send them off. She just like puts them in a hat box and thinks they're never gonna get out. And then one day they got out, and there's one for her best friend who's also her sister's ex-boyfriend, and some other people from her past. So that's all I'm gonna say. So the summary that I put: girl writes 5 love letters, and her boyfriend then gets a bit rocky, then it's good. I'm not a writer, if you cannot tell. Okay, so that's about her and her boyfriend. So her boyfriend and Laura Jane is called Peter Kavinsky. Okay, so he's like cool and stuff like that, and then his girlfriend breaks up with him, and she wants to make sure that her friend doesn't think that she has a crush on him, even though she does. Anyway, so they then start dating each other like secret, like they're not actually dating, and then they start liking each other, and then they date. And then in the second one, one of the people that she wrote a letter to, called John Ambrose, he has came back and wrote her like a letter too, and so that was fun. It got a little bit like a love triangle. Okay, so the next one is Ram and the Runaway Twins. I read this because it had twins in it, and I love, like, I'm a twin if you didn't know. This is 179 pages. It took me ages to read. It took me months because I've just stopped reading it, and I can't really remember what happens. Anyway, we're just gonna pass that one. So now we're in March, so that's from February. So I read 3 books in February, sort of. Now we're in March, so I read 1, 2, 3 books in March too. So the first one is Pretty Little Liars. So if you don't know, there's a series. It was on Netflix. It's not on Netflix. I wish it still was, because I just got the urge to watch it again and I can't. So this is about these group of people, and their best friend went missing when they was having a sleepover. It was a couple of years later. I can't remember how many years, because in the show it's 1 year, but in the books it's multiple, I'm pretty sure. And then one of the friends, there's 5 of them, including the one that went missing, she went to Iceland with her family just to get away, because one of her best friends had gone missing, obviously. So there was Arvia, the one that went to Iceland, then there was Spencer, Hannah, Emily, and then the one that went missing, what's she called? Alison. Her name was Alison. Yeah. And then they find a body in a back garden, and it's Alice. And then so yeah, it says friends had gone missing and some person knew all their secrets, and there's someone called A, and I thought it was Alison, but obviously it's not, because they just found her body. And this person knows all the secrets. Okay, so the next one is Kissing, not the Kissing Booth. Okay, so it's The Princess Diaries. So this is a movie. The first one and the second one is in a movie. And she finds out that her dad in the series is alive, but in the show in the movie he's not, or maybe he still is. I don't really know. He's just not there. And they thought that the dad would have multiple kids, but he got cancer and now can't have kids, so his only daughter is the next queen. So they need to go through a lot of lessons to teach her. So the next one, the 6th one, is Wonder. So there's this boy called August. And he had this like a slit in his mouth, and in his words, I'm pretty sure, like, he doesn't seem normal. And it says something about, if I was normal, why does all the kids run away from me, and why does people look at me? And his mum's homeschooled him since, like, he's going to school, but now he has to go to school because I think it's the best time for him to go to school, because he's just, the reason why they didn't take him to school was because he was having a lot of operations, and he was just missing a lot of school, so they just homeschooled him. So the next one is Gossip Girl. So this is about this Upper East Side, and it shows how they have money and how they treat people that don't have money. Okay, so next one is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So I know there's been a lot going on about J.K. Rowling recently, well, a couple of months, like in this couple of months. I don't know anything about that, but I still love like the books, so I may talk about them a little bit, maybe not as much into detail as I would, but I still am going to. So this and it follows Harry Potter and all the other two of his best friends finding out a secret and a chamber that's a secret. Well, there was like things about it, but they really didn't talk much about it. Like, they thought it was just like a myth. But anyway, the next one is Princess Diaries 2. And this follows how all of her friends find out that she is a princess and how they treat her, and people finding out. And there's also a lot of like her mum's dating her teacher and stuff like that. It's just really okay. So now, I'm in April now, so I read 1, 2, 3 books, 4 books in April. So the next one was started in April, but I finished in June. But this is Sea of Ashes. So this is the second book in Sea of Bones, the Molly Instrument series. And this follows Clary finding out more about her and trying to work out how to get her mum out, I'm pretty sure, and finding out her and Jace are brothers. That's a bit thingy because they dated, like they was together and then now they can't be because, you know, it's a bit weird. So next one is 5 Feet Apart. So I have already read this one once, but I read it, well, I listened to it. So I did this in a day because I was listening to it. But I love this book and movie. I've just worked out that the author of this has just got another book out, and that is now on my TBR. So but it's really sad. It's about cystic fibrosis and how families cope with cystic fibrosis and how their life are different to other kids that don't have cystic fibrosis, and how kids with CF, that's what it's like named, how they can't be more than 6 feet apart. I love this, but it's so sad. So I cry every time. But anyway, so the next one is The Darkest Mind, and I listened to this on audiobook. Like, this is what I've put, book review. Like this, really, really good. It's about kids each die or get powers. Blue, they can move things. Yellow, they have electricity. Green, they're really smart. And then orange, they have mind control. Red, they can go, and then fire comes out. There is 3 books in the series, and a 4th one is like a spin-off, I'm guessing. I don't really know because I've only read one of these. I've not got to the other ones yet. I really should do, but okay, so what I've put is I like it because maybe live with powers, and I am optimistic that everything will be okay with all of them, and it will be happy. Okay, so the next one is Gossip Girl. So I can't remember what about this one because there's no like review and what I've read on it. I really should start doing that more with my books because I forget easily because I read a lot. But I know I loved it, so that's good. Okay, so this is when I started reading in quarantine. The last book that I read in quarantine was out of quarantine was Princess Diaries 2. So that was like 4 books ago. So the next one is Pretty Little Liars. So this starts off and it is just after Alison's funeral, and they get a message saying I'm back or something, like, you didn't think he could get away from it that easily, did you? And it just follows how they cope with that and how they survive together. So the next one is The 100. So this is about this like maybe hundreds of years into the future, and the earth, or what the people think is uninhabitable because they're up in space, because there was working there, I don't really know, but so they put 100 people that was supposed to be executed and killed down on Earth, and if they survive they will be like let go of their crimes. And it shows how they survive in the atmosphere, like how they get closer as a unit, because they are 100 people that were supposed to die and that didn't know if they was going to survive. The next one is The Last Song. So I have not finished this, I've got 100 pages left, but I stopped reading it so I could read Twilight, so I will be getting into that hopefully next month, because we're almost finished it. We've got like a week left, I don't know. But this is about this girl and she has this brother. This is a movie, it is on Disney Plus. Highly recommend this movie, it's like good. So this is about this girl, and her dad and mum divorced and he went back to his hometown, and she's been angry with him ever since, and for a summer she's been forced to go see him and like talk to him and like try to work their things out. And she just, it shows how she survives and how she makes friends and all this lot and meets a guy. So the next one is I Am 4. So it's about a boy who is an alien from a planet what was killed because of a war. So there was 9 children and 9 adults that was put to Earth to save their planet. So when the war's finished, when the bad guys have like gone, they are supposed to meet and go back to their planet. And and they have to kill in order: number 1, number 2, number 3, all the way to number 9. And there's this boy called, well, he's number 4, but everybody knows him now called John Smith, and he is the next in line to like die. Like the bad guys will come after him, so they move, and then it shows him how he's been in a new town and how he tries to not like fit in, and not fit in, but like anyway, I read that in order on YouTube. The next one is The Power of 6. I'm not going to tell you any of these because these are like the 2nd and 3rd and the 4th book of that series, and I think it's better if you only know one. So the next one is The Power of 6, The Rise of 9, and then I get to Twilight. So this is the last one in this. I'm glad because it's 23 minutes past. No, I've been recording for 20 minutes. So if you don't know what Twilight is, it's this book, and it talks about it goes with this girl called Bella, and she meets this boy called Edward, and she doesn't know, well, not at the beginning anyway, that he is a vampire. All of his family are vampires: his sisters, his brothers, his adopted mum and dad, and they are something called vegetarians, so they only eat animal blood. So they are shown as like the good guys, like they don't drink human blood, they just drink animal blood. And Bella meets him, and he has this thing about her, like there's something in the book saying, I only wanted her blood, I'd have to kill everybody in this room just so I could drink her blood. I don't know, it was weird. Well, and he starts following her and to keep her safe, and then they fall in love, and then this tracker finds her while she's with Edward, and then she has to go on the run. But that's the end of that. But now I am on next one. So this is New Moon. I'm not finished this one. I've got 100 pages, like 100 pages left ish. So hopefully I can finish this before the month ends, because it is